conservative judge in New York State, and he's Suffolk County. I just want to say that the Halloran Inauguration family goes back over 60 years. I first met Dan Jr., Dan's father, on the baseball fields here in Queens and in St. John's Prep in the early 50s, late 40s.
Can't hear you.
Sorry about that.
Can't see you either. They've only been here for 20 years, Dan.
Now you got it.
I'll take 8.
Well, anyway, it's my pleasure to officiate at your first. You have to get out at the 8?
That's what they say unless we do another term limit session.
Dog daddy.
Are you swearing at me? For your good looks. All right. I, Daniel J. Halloran III,
I, Daniel J. Halloran III,
do solemnly swear
that
I will uphold and defend the constitutions of the United States and the state of New York,
I will uphold and defend the constitutions of the state of New York and the United States of America,
and faithfully fulfill the duties of a member of the New York City Council.
As a member of the New York City Council.
So help me God.
So help me God. I guess it's my turn. If Vito thought he had a long list, just wait. And I'm going to ask that you all indulge me while I go through the litany of all of the people who I have to thank, because there were so many. And I can't begin to tell you how wonderful it is today to be here at the Bayside Historical Society. Senator is right. When we discussed where we were going to have this event, I didn't know what the best venue would be. Of course, the Senator managed to fill up the Holy Cross High School auditorium to standing room only. And I didn't want to be able to say that I didn't have standing room only also. So the Senator will have to forgive me for not taking his advice, but I wanted him to know that I wanted to make an impression too. Clearly, this council district is the most unique in the city of New York. It's clear because its citizens represent such a large population of different ethnicities, different cultures, different religions. The Tribune. And social acceptance. And I would also like to say that we have 1 and 2 family homes in a way that nowhere else, perhaps other than our friends in Staten Island, share in quite the same way. So preservation of our community is, was, and always will be the council member from this district's responsibility. And Democrat or Republican, our obligations are to our community. There are 2 great examples that I particularly want to recognize. The first is Councilman Abel. Mike came in, gave me a hand, gave me some very sound advice, and set the tone as the first member of the 19th Council District when it was created. Senator Frank Pattman, of course, is not only a legend in the sense that he has guided and steered from his Senate office in Belrose, from the one he had in Whitestone, and of course from Albany for 30 years in a way that no other elected official has done. because his 37, 30, how many senators?
38.
Wow, sorry. Senator's been the senator longer than I've been alive. And when I first met him, I was all of 17 years of age, and he was there at my Eagle Scout ceremony. And I think he made some sort of smart alecky comment then too. And throughout it all, he's been there, and those two gentlemen I owe a great debt of thanks. I'm going to give you the litany of thank yous right now before I close my remarks. If I've forgotten anyone, and if my committee has forgotten anyone, it's not for want of trying. It's because there have been so many people who have helped us that it is almost impossible to recall them all. Phil Ragusa, Chairman Cox, Tom Long, Mike Niebauer, Molly Honigsfeld, Chairman McKay, John Persida. A most special thank you to Phil Orenstein and Dawn Inatra, two Tea Party patriots who literally covered Bay Terrace weekend after weekend.
That's right.
John and Barb Haggerty, who were there at every step. And John, congratulations on having won the bet with Kevin Sheehy, the mayor's aide, and that I did get elected, though you told me. Grant Lally, who also assisted me at every step, providing me with counsel, information, and with the ability to survive the process of election. D. Richard, who, again, was one of the first people there, whose pictures in the paper did me all sorts of good. I know her in enormous debt. My law partners, Frank Castiglione and Vito Palmieri. Vito, of course, is the talkative one, Frank, the quiet one. They stood by this election, and made sure that I was able to survive, and I owe them as well. Tony Corolla and the Whitestone GOP, I wouldn't be here without you guys. Some of those folks like Rob Speranza, Kimon Thermos, Debbie Heineken, Lauren Whalen, week after week, out petitioning, out carrying flyers, out at the events, doing the right thing for us. At St. Nicholas, little Anthony ran me around to introduce me to every Greek I did not already know. Janet Malone made sure that there was order in my office. Jim Trickus and Tony Ramos were there to assist her in the in the supervision of those things. Mitch Schwadron, who repaired every lock in Bayside in the course of his working in our office. Mr. and Mrs. Palladino, especially Mrs. Palladino, who could be heard several blocks away at all times. Billy Garofel and his boys, who carried flags like "Don't Tread on Me" all around. My apologies, Congressman Ackerman. Marie Warhola, Sheila Peralta, Joan Vogt, Linda Gritch, Phil Sika, Jim Trent, Bob Schwartz, and Rosemary Chicola Trezone were some of the people who could routinely be found assisting us. There was a group of Italians, friends of ours, I guess. Peter Zuccarella, Phil Zurillo, Louis Zuccarella, Joe Baccarella, Sal Baccarella, Gary Pinelli, Pasquale Masulo, Mario DeLeo, Fabio DeLeo, TJ, and all the other Italians who showed up at my door at 7:30 on the 16th of September. I'd also like to thank Peter Zuccarella's father, who actually lived in the house next door to me when I was born, and who gave Peter Zuccarella my little blue horsey, and I'm still mad about that. My campaign senior staff. I wouldn't have been able to do what we did without them. Darryl Fox, who was our on-the-ground coordinator. Megan Mapes, who was tied to my side. Dan Cho, who was tied to the other side. Steve Stites, Randy Rosen, Linda Metzger, Dennis Ring, Chrissy Vosperishian, boy, that's some name. Vanna Partridge, Nancy Yen, Simon Chang, John Malivi, Paul Graziano, and where is Dr. Jim Servino when you need him? Those people were out there helping us, making us learn, making us understand the problems of the district at a whole different level.